Hello to all the geek enthusiasts and nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 with Malice Corp here to talk about The Walking Dead, episode 3 of season 8, Monsters. And we're not talking about the zombies that are the monsters. There's some definitely different monstering going on. I want to welcome everybody back. Thank you for coming to watch our after show. Please comment in the chat and let us know what your thoughts were about the episode. If you liked it, hated it, reactions to it, all that type of stuff. We're here to discuss it with you and get your thoughts and opinions on it.
And indeed, response has been terrific. We're getting a lot of views on this particular after show, and you guys are killing it. Good comments. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So definitely like the video if you like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and click that subscribe button. The nice thing with that is we appreciate all our subscribers. So as you see these names scrolling above our heads, those are all of our subscribers to the channel. Those are our thank yous to you for subscribing. So definitely hit that subscribe button so we can get you onto that scrolling banner above us. I want to welcome my two cohorts in crime to talk The Walking Dead with me. I've got ICZorro, as you've heard him talk so far. How's it going?
I can't stop myself most of the time. Yeah, how's it going, guys? I literally watched this episode and Talking Dead about an hour before we started this podcast, so I am fresh.
Yeah, once again, I had a couple hours ago because I had football to watch. So,
okay. So my fantasy team is doing well. I'm already good.
Okay. Mrs. Malice, welcome back.
Thank you. I watched it yesterday, so I'm old.
It's okay. You just can't wait. You gotta watch it as soon as it comes out. We understand.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure most of the people that are here in the watching are the same. So, but yeah, let's get into it. So, episode starts with right where it ended last week. We see Morales. The whole hashtag went crazy. Morales lives. And we discussed what was going to happen with Morales and backstory. We're expecting all these speculation and everything. That didn't last very long.
Well, even before we get to Morales, there's that weird King Ezekiel, like, there, he gives another speech, and there's a weird like time cutting thing. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't understand the point of that. Like they show him talking about stuff and then cut to like, I don't know, what's that supposed to be, an hour and a half in the future, and all of a sudden, hey, we're back to the speech, and then an hour and a half in the future, and like it didn't seem to serve any actually kind of storytelling purpose.
I think they're doing it because there's so many groups and they're in so many different areas, so they're trying to show like a back and forth time lapse kind of thing. So I think that's why they're.
I know, but if they're focusing on that story and that segment, then why are they cutting back and forth so much? Like they could have done that, 2 to 3 scenes later, show them marching. I just don't get the point of it.
It makes it kind of confusing.
Because I thought that something super important was going to happen on their march because they were cutting back and forth with time. But nope, that was just them marching to the thing.
Well, once again, it gives that thought of, and you go back to the first episode with those super flash forward and the back and forth and stuff. It makes you wonder how much is really happening, how much could be a dream. How it's like,
I have never considered anything in this show to be a dream.
No,
not really.
It's just really weird cuts that are that's
I want to look at who was the director of this episode and see if that's their style, because there have been some time flash dream sequence stuff. What's his name? Cuddy from The Wire. The guy, when he was dying, he had all his dream sequences. There was some dream sequence stuff with Sneakwa Martin Green, Sasha. But I want to see if it was the same director. I'd have to look into that.
Has Nicotero? I thought he's been directing all the episodes.
He's been directing a fair whack of them, but I don't know that he's doing all of them.
He directed He directed this episode.
Okay. Yeah.
The Damned.
No, I find
he didn't direct the last episode. Let's see if he directed the first episode, because
I find it to be a really interesting editing style, but I'm not really sure what the purpose is.
I'm hoping that fleshes out. Yeah.
It's to confuse everybody.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what it's doing right now. But
Absolutely.
Getting
That's
into
probably why I didn't like the last episode. So I like this one better though.
yeah, Nicotero directed the first and the third episode, both of the ones that have flashback type of.
And I
cuts.
like both those episodes. I didn't like for some reason.
Well, we know you love this episode because you
Yes.
definitely got your gore back. You established that as of last week that you love killing and gore and blood and
she wants some guts.
A whole lot of that in this episode either. So
well, there was
Really? There was a guy. There was an undead chewing a guy's face while blood spurted out of his eye.
that's zombie gore. That's like normal, I guess, in this world for to see that. But
Okay, how about this? Morales caught a crossbow to the neck.
okay.
oh, she cheered for that.
And then Daryl.
And I want to get into that
We are
aspect a
going
little
to.
bit too.
Daryl
but-
did shoot Todd too, the guy behind the tree. So
Yeah, and I want to get into the aspect with the Morales thing a little bit too. But before we get into that, let's just jump off really quick. Favorite scene, Mrs. Malice. What was your favorite scene of the episode?
She's gonna steal mine.
yeah, Morgan and Jesus's fight.
Absolutely.
Pretty awesome fight.
That was so well choreographed.
Yeah, it was.
And those actors performed it so well. I watched Talking Dead after I watched Walking Dead, and they had a little vignette on how often how consistently those guys prepared for that fight scene. And apparently they both live in the same building in the Atlanta area. So they were just even when they weren't on set, even when they weren't working, they'd be just sparring with each other and practicing. That scene was beautiful.
Yeah, it was an amazing scene. You guys are gonna hate my choice for favorite scene.
Oh boy.
Because the actor that's the character that's in it is terrible. But when Gregory came back to
There you go. Yep.
the gate, the scene where he starts throwing Cal under the bus and Cal just looks over like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
And starts flipping him off.
He goes, oh, hey Cal.
Hi, Cal.
No, I don't hate you for that. That's my second favorite scene of the thing.
Yeah,
I
that would
love
be my other scene too.
it shows how well the actor that plays Gregory is. He to play the scumbag that he does and play it so well. He does phenomenal on that. But getting back to your guys' favorite scene, which was the Morgan and Jesus fight, repercussions on this. Because last week, Tara and Jesus were kind of going at ends, and almost Tara was kind of pitting Rick against Maggie, talking about how
Theoretically. She was posturing for that. She didn't know.
But now we have Morgan fighting Jesus for the same reasons of we need to kill him, and this is once again going back to what we discussed last week. It's not so much how long you've known somebody, but being a leader and stuff like that. Who's Maggie's biggest confidant right now? It's Jesus. He is her right-hand man. So,
but even she was reluctant to let them in through the gates because of the family and the kids.
I know.
Yeah, no, I think her biggest confidant might be what's the girl that was there at the Hilltop? Carl's girlfriend.
Edith,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of
She
planning
seems
and
to
stuff,
have the ear. Oh yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
Jesus has definitely been the one that's been helping her more with anything, and that she's been going to about how are we going to plan this out and stuff. So it just creates more. Is that rift gonna start? Are they gonna, for more drama, are they gonna put this little rift that's gonna end up starting between Hilltop and Alexandria because we're not seeing eye to eye?
I don't know that it's a rift between Hilltop and Alexandria. I think it's Morgan. I think it's Morgan going full clear again.
Yeah, clear.
Clear. Gotta clear. He has definitely reverted to. I mean, there was that whole middle period where he was like, "I'm not going to kill anything ever," and now he is full back to beginning of the apocalypse. Something's been done wrong. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to kill these people.
Yep.
And I don't know that I disagree with him.
But he relates on the same thing that Morales tells Rick, where he says, "You're monsters."
Yes.
Tells Rick, he said, "We're all monsters. They're not those people that they were the however many years ago."
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a season of conflict, not only outwardly but inwardly, because they're definitely trying to figure out, are they the good guys? There was that whole season, or the whole scene with Morales and Rick, where you're trying to figure out, is Rick the monster? Because Morales definitely sees him as that, and he even said it. He said, "You the widow, and who was it from the third King Ezekiel? Like we're told not to kill you if we can avoid it, because there's something more in store for you.
But Rick even points out to Morales too that Negan killed Glenn, and he knew Glenn, and then he pointed out that the widow is Glenn's wife. So
absolutely,
then again, who is the monster?
And he came back and said, "We're not what we were." So,
and it's a very interesting thing, because we have seen this story through the eyes of Rick's group. Yeah. So of course we're sympathetic to Rick's group. If we had seen this story through the eyes of the Saviors, we might think Negan did the right thing by bashing in Abraham and Glenn's skulls.
Yep.
It's entirely a matter of perspective.
That's the whole thing about this season so far is really that you can look on both sides and see. I mean, we talked about it last week where Negan, when he bashed in Glenn's skull, he said, "I don't want it. You're making me do this. This is not something I want to do."
But I did warn you.
Yeah.
So, oh God. Still one of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen on television.
Yes. Oh my God.
But it really is a season that's just showing how thin that line is of what's good, what's bad.
Well, the whole premise of the show is set up to have really thin moral ambiguity, because you're going to do whatever you have to survive. And
but even Morgan points it out. Morgan says, he actually says we have to be them. It's not going to change. It's not, because Morgan throws out everything that he's been doing for the last year, trying to turn people around and all that stuff, and says it's not going to work. It's pointless. It's not. They're killers. We have to become them if we want to survive.
And even right towards the end, Ezekiel says he gives an ultimatum. Or states an ultimatum to one of his henchmen, Daniel, I think. He says, "Look, it's them or us. There is no in between."
There is no in between. Yep.
So,
and that's just the situation that they're in. So, monster versus hero, I think there's a very thin line.
Yeah, it's that's what's definitely becoming apparent. Let's get into pandering from the writers, because I want to know your thoughts on this. Deaths that we've seen so far. So you get Morales comes back, big old thing. Hey, this guy that was there before, he's been tweeting out about it for a year. It's like
nearly stunt casting. Yeah,
dead. And I'm personally glad they killed him. I wish they would have killed him in the scene beforehand, because his acting was horrendous.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
he was not good.
No, it was terrible. 2, Eric got a shot in the gut last week. We see that he doesn't recover from it, turns into a zombie this week.
Yeah.
Is this pandering from the writers, where they're saying, well, it is the zombie show, they want to see who's going to die, we can't kill off any of the big guys yet, but let's give it this character's death, and we'll bring in Morales, and then we'll kill him off immediately. Let's just give them death so that we can.
I think pandering is a strong word.
Yeah.
Because Eric does die in the comics. Now, granted, I've only read up to episode 100, which is where Glenn dies. But I've read things about the following episodes or editions. Eric does die, but in the comics, it's a much more straightforward. He doesn't have to say goodbye. He doesn't have to suffer. He gets shot in the head.
Yeah. But once again, did you have any care about these characters? I mean, yeah, it's cool to see Daryl shoot the guy in the neck, but did you, Mrs. Malice, was there any like, oh, that's, was it just like, it was just there? Your thoughts on it?
I don't think it was panhandling. I think that when they kill off a character like Eric, they're only making the other characters that are around him stronger. And so when everyone else finds out that he was shot, it'll kind of like, to me, it strengthens the group, even though they use somebody.
For sure. And it's definitely gonna put a fire under Aaron's ass.
Oh, yes, it is.
By the way, that's one of my favorite characters. I love that guy. Ross Marquand is an amazing actor. Have you seen his impression videos on YouTube? Mm-mm. Dude's talented. Look it up. Ross Marquand impressions. He can impersonate just about anybody. But yeah, the fact that Eric died there, and And as emotional as that was for Aaron, like, I think that's going to light a fire under him. Like, the fact that he was the one that brought Eric into the conflict in the first place, despite protests. Eric originally was like, can we just leave this? We've got a safe, stable existence here. Do we really need to get in this fight? And the fact that Aaron pulled him in, got him killed, he's going to be...
Will it, like, because he's always had this fire lit. Now, it got him killed.
A blaze.
Yeah.
It's a volcano. It is erupted.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, is it? Because what is he asked to do at the end of the episode? Let me take Gracie. I'll take,
Well, I think he needs a mission there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just lost his long-term boyfriend to death in a fight that he got him into. He needs something to do, someone to care for.
And the thing about Aaron too is before they all showed up at Alexandria. I can't even say it. I can't even say the name of where they're at.
Alexandria. Yes.
Thank you. Before they all showed up, what was he doing? He was going out and scouting for more people. He was actually doing something. So him stopping and not doing anything would kill him. So
The man needs a mission.
he needs a mission.
Now, here's another question. Do you think he's going to deliver that baby to the hilltop, or do you think he's going to take it and raise it as his own?
I think he's going to eventually take it and raise it as his own because him and Eric did want to have a kid. He did kind of hint at that they did want a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But, in this day and age, they can't really do that, in the zombie world, they can't do that. But, so yeah, I think he's going to end up taking Gracie.
Okay. So we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to deal with more crying babies surrounded by zombies.
That's what I want to talk about. At what point does having babies on the show become too many babies? Because
well, there's two ways to look at it.
Setting up to have, because they didn't kill off
Judith,
even though she died in the comic. They didn't kill her off because they said it would be too harsh or anything like that. But now you have Maggie's baby. Judith is still alive. Now we have Gracie, who is a savior's baby. Are they eventually just setting up that?
Well, here's the thing.
One of these
in any group of this size, and we know what 200-300 characters in this show at this point, roughly. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be some procreation, and especially after the apocalypse, you need to repopulate. Yep. 95% of the world's population has just been killed. Granted, this is not the optimal time to bring a child into the world. No, there's zombies everywhere, but you have to, or else the human race is gonna die.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we've got what, like 3 babies that we know of at this point? I think that's a relatively small number from what we should have expected.
Oh, I'm sure there's many more, but it's just a factor that, hey, they're letting it be known on screen that these children are there and stuff. And usually you don't put something there unless there's a reason behind it at some point. For Judith, it was the whole dynamic for Rick stepping up and losing, and stuff. For Maggie and Glenn, it was that connection that made them even stronger together and stuff. And now it's this baby that it's a reminder to Rick.
Sort of appeared.
It gives Aaron a purpose,
and it's a moral check for Rick.
And it's a reminder to Rick.
Literally killed her father.
Yeah, be careful on who you're killing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of kids in the apocalypse, we haven't seen Carl in a while.
And this is okay. So this brings back to the point of are they killing off people just to kill them off? And I know the Eric thing and stuff like that, but we haven't seen Negan with Gabriel.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big character. Gabriel's a big character. So if
absolutely
Negan kills him, that's
Carl, and we haven't seen them.
I am betting there's going to be an entire episode dedicated to Negan and Gabriel.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
I don't think it's far off. So I watched Talking Dead, so I saw a preview for next week. So it's not going to be next week, but I would be willing to bet it's real close.
Yeah. And they did that. They did the same thing with Daryl too. When Daryl came up missing in last season, and he was with the Saviors, they did a whole dedication to Daryl being there with Negan and having to go through all that too. So,
we're on Easy Street.
And if you're going back to
It feels so sweet.
if you're,
That song was stuck in my head for like 3 weeks.
yeah, mine too.
if you're wanting to know what happened in previous episodes, want to go back and check them out. Amazon Prime, fantastic source of material for that. If you go to our website, malice-corp.com, click on the Amazon link through the website, it does help us out. We do appreciate it greatly. They're not paying us to do this or anything, but
No,
yeah, it does help us.
You clicking to Amazon, which you're going to go to anyway. You clicking to Amazon through our website is what allows us to continue doing this. So
Yeah.
If you enjoy these podcasts, please.
If you're watching live on your phone, tablet, or computer, I know on TVs you can't do this, but if you're watching live, please join the chat room. Let us know what your thoughts are on the episode.
Oh yeah,
so
the live chat on these episodes are usually pretty fun. I think we've pretty much just got me and Jack Malice right now, but normally the live chat is a real fun time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our private chat is something interesting right now.
All right.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, is that Daffy Duck getting? Never mind.
What was before we go into more depth of the episode, what was your least favorite scene of the episode, Zorro?
Oh, I don't know that I had one. I think this is a pretty solid episode overall. I think the only thing I really took or was even confused about was the whole, like I said earlier, the time jump stuff at the beginning. I'm loving the way that the Kingdom team is working together. You know what? I think my least favorite scene was just anything to do with that long-haired dude that Morgan hates. The guy that killed, like when he was calling it.
He still didn't get killed.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
When he was like, "Oh, your armor's smaller. It's like it shrunk on you." Oh no, you didn't take the kid's armor, did you? And it wasn't even that it was a bad scene. It's just that I hate that guy.
Yeah, I wanted to see him get capped, but
yeah,
so
when Morgan shot
weirdest.
When Morgan shot one person from the escapees, why wasn't it that guy?
Yeah, well, that scene had the weirdest cut in it too, because Morgan turned, then they said walkers, and then you saw Morgan being pushed by a walker, and I was like, this is the oddest cut.
Yeah.
And yes, as a child, those walkers must be having fun, because I love doing that as a child, rolling down the hill like that.
Yeah.
So, was always dirty and itchy, but what about you, Mrs. Malice? What was your least favorite moment of the episode?
I didn't have any. I liked this. I liked it, so I had no problem with it at all. Besides the fact that they killed Todd. I feel bad for Todd. That's not it. Poor guy.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you didn't like Gregory coming back too.
Well,
So,
I didn't like Gregory coming back, but like my thing is like, there's got to be a purpose for that too. Like, I was not happy that Maggie let him in so easily, but Maggie's smarter than that, so she's probably got plans for him. So I just want to see what happens.
It shows the humanity in Maggie again, of being a leader and stuff like that. Because once again, she talked about what all the saviors have done to their families and stuff, but Gregory was on that cusp of basically doing that as well. We side with Negan and all that stuff. So, if it was Rick, he
would have been shot.
Yeah.
He would have been shot.
And Rick's having a hard time holding on to his humanity right now, because even when he tried to use it with the one savior and say, my word is what you have, and that's all we can give right now, Daryl didn't let him keep that.
No, because that was Daryl being old classic Daryl.
Okay.
So, and where Rick always had that thing where my word is my word, and he went by it, and then he went through that period where he didn't. Just went nuts and killed people too.
That killed me.
Like, it feels like he's trying to get back to that, but not getting there.
That
I
killed
think
me when he said, "Look, there's very few things worth anything in this world, but a man's word has to be one of them." And then Daryl just shoots the guy in the head.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh!"
And you saw it.
I actually
Rick's face.
watching it, I went, "Oh, come on, man."
Yeah, but Rick
What's
can't
what's
snap
going
at him
on
or
with
anything like
Daryl?
that. But you saw it in Rick's face was like, why? Why
Why?
did you know?
Yeah.
Why?
And I get it. That there was a logic behind it because that guy was giving them information about what they should be seeking out, what they should be doing. In Daryl's head, it was, okay, well, he told us where to go. That means he knows where we're going to go.
Yeah.
And if he gets back to the Saviors, that's bad for us. That's going to cause many more deaths. So I get it. But at the same time, yeah, no, Rick just gave him his word. And you see the look on Rick's face like, what the hell?
And we don't know how long Daryl was standing there with Morales. He may have not heard that conversation at the beginning. I mean, he goes, you know who that, and he's like, yeah, I know who it was. Like Daryl's showing the no remorse.
What's going on with Daryl? He is,
well, you got to remember
right now.
They had him locked up. They tortured
exactly.
him. So
you're on an easy street.
He's out for blood
and it feels so sweet.
And last episode, he saw a room just like where he was being trapped before. So that he was triggered. Daryl got triggered.
He got triggered. Safe space.
But
need a safe space.
When Daryl shoots that guy, that also just creates that whole what Morales said. They're monsters.
Are you the monsters? Yeah. No, there was something that Morales said, something along the lines of like, "You're that Rick from Alexandria. I know what you're about now." Like, I wonder what stories have been told about the Alexandrians to the Saviors.
Well, it's the same stories we hear about Negan from the side that we're seeing.
Yes. And but as I said earlier, we have been watching from the side of the Rick's group, the Alexandrians, Rick's team. So if we had been watching from the side of the Saviors, how differently would we feel? I had to dip out real quick there. Mrs. Malice, I believe you talked a little bit about Gregory showing up to the Hilltop.
Yeah.
Have we covered this?
She was upset about the scene, but she knows that there's got to be a reason for it and stuff. And I said it was just establishing Maggie's humanity.
I think she's got plans because it's Maggie. So
what do you think?
Out of the box.
I am upset because you can see watching the scene. He's calling out through the cracked door, and you can see her stopped and listening. And I'm like, keep walking, girl, keep walking. Oh, God, because Gregory is the worst kind of survivalist snake. He's going to say whatever he has to say to continue to live, to get in with you. Just pity. He has no shame. It doesn't matter. If it's going to keep him safe, he's going to say it. And even when she said, open the door, let him in, she was thinking, okay, this is going to bite me in the ass. This is going to be a bad decision.
But
and
she also
it's going to be.
When Jesus did show up with the group and he's standing there behind her going, no, don't let him in, no. She's like, shut up, go away. She literally was stating her dominant,
Oh, and she was strong in this episode for sure. She stood up to him, dressed him down, shut up, Gregory, get out of here.
Go away.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
Maggie is fully in control of the Hilltop. But if you let somebody like Gregory in, there's going to be insidious whispers. He's going to be talking about, well, these are all the things that got wrong. What if Maggie had made this different decision? I don't think she made the right decision there. Are we sure she should be in charge?
I think everyone in the Hilltop, though, does support Maggie after seeing what she did when they had the car pushed into there, and that she was the only one that jumped down and her and Sasha and fix that problem for them, and pretty much save the Hilltop.
Overall, I agree, and that's why Maggie's in charge. That's why that dude called out. He was like, the Hilltop stands with Maggie. Yeah. But when you let somebody like Gregory in, he's a snake. He's Grimer Warrington from Lord of the Rings.
Well, you asked last week, Zorro, about wondering who of the surrendering bad guys would be coming the next main character into it. I think we're getting that pretty much established because now he's had a speaking line for the second week in a row. The guy that told him, "Put down your guns. Don't let him think don't be as stupid as they think we are." Same guy that spoke up when everybody started running, and he said, "No, they have guns. Stay here with them."
It's true.
It's the exact same guy. So it sounds like he's the one logical person of that group.
Of the saviors.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to look at what's right and what's wrong, and once seeing Hilltop and
a group that large, there's got to be at least a couple of people that are smart enough to see what's going on and join the right side.
Which let's put this with that character. If he becomes a main character, showing what he's doing, is that going to bring Tara back to Jesus's and Maggie's side because she went through the same thing? Remember, she was with the governor.
Yeah,
and they welcomed her back into Rick's.
And Tara is very much on the Morgan side of things. Let's kill these dudes.
Yeah.
But if she sees this guy that's going through the same basically thing as her, he was on the savior's side. He sees that things are, do what you need to do to be right and be on the good side and stuff like that. Can that help sway her back to understanding, hey, some of these people shouldn't die?
I think that Tara is going to take
it's going to be a parallel. This whole season has been looking in the mirror. That's going to be a look in the mirror moment for Tara.
It has been literally looking in the mirror at a couple of points.
Yeah, for everybody, it seems like.
I think it would take a lot to sway Tara over to being friendly or even familiar with some of the saviors or ex-saviors, as they might turn out being. It would take a large act to convince her that any one of them is worth talking to, let alone being friends with.
Pretty much saving her. They would have to save her.
Exactly.
Yeah, they would have to save her.
You think that will happen? Do you think one of the saviors, maybe this one character?
Yeah, the one speaking up is going to be the one that saves her and changes her mind. I feel that way. Yeah, he'd be the one that's going to do something.
Or save somebody else in front of her or something.
Yeah, something. It's going to be like, oh, well, okay, you're not all that bad.
Yeah, no, it's going to, like I said, it's going to take a large, maybe even life-saving act for her to change her opinion of any of them. And that would be on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. So, oh, good Lord. Okay. But going back to Eric.
Poor Eric.
Eric dies, and Aaron sees that he's dead and sees him walking to the zombie herd, and he gets pulled back from going out there after him or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's free.
He's free. This going to literally bite them in the butt because Eric's been is Eric going to end up biting somebody? And
I
hadn't even considered that until you brought it up in the pre-show prep.
I didn't even think about that either. I mean, it's really hard. A horde is a very big group of them. So, and there is a horde coming, and he walked towards the horde, which is actually supposed to be coming towards them, which was kind of weird.
But at the same time, the writers of this show have been known to do things like this before, like the walker that Carl got stuck in the mud, didn't kill, ended up killing Dale.
Yeah, killed Dale.
So there's definitely a precedent for unkilled walkers coming back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
And
so I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't considered that.
Well, let's say they're in the middle of this horde. They're killing zombies. Aaron's in the middle of the horde, and Eric's the one that comes walking up to him.
And he hesitates, and something happens.
Exactly.
And, yeah. No, that's for real a possibility. It would feel cheap to me if that happened, though.
Or does he throw the baby at Eric and say, "Hey"?
Well, yeah, because he's just going to carry the baby around all the time.
I didn't even think about that, though. You mentioned, does Eric go to the hilltop, or does he go elsewhere? Does he go with the baby looking for Eric?
No, I don't think
No,
he's
he
going to
was
take the
off.
baby out anywhere.
I know, but he's got his head's not in the right place right now.
No,
Yeah, but he's not a moron.
I think he's going to take the baby directly to Hilltop for Maggie and Edith to look over and the rest of the Hilltop people. And then he might turn around and come out and, after he tells Maggie what's happened, he might come back to the group and either try to find him or just, find another mission that doesn't involve trying to kill his now ex-boyfriend.
Now, well, definitely X, unfortunately. Remind me, which of the 3 communities that we're rooting for have doctors? Because I believe when Eric got shot, he said, we can take you back to the kingdom or the Hilltop.
No, the kingdom.
Kingdom.
You just said the kingdom. Okay.
The Hilltop doctor got taken by Negan.
Yep.
Okay. Does Alexandria have a doctor? Because I'm pretty sure the only doctor there was Porch Dick, which got spectacularly whacked.
I don't believe they officially have a doctor. They have.
So the kingdom is the only place that actually has a doctor right now.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
just a question.
Yeah.
And
Alexandria has the machete hacking person, which I really wish she was fighting because I miss her and her katana.
She's protecting the thing, and that's the whole thing about this season is we're just focusing on these 3 groups.
Yeah.
We don't see what's going on in Alexandria. For all we know, so you're saying an episode's going to come where it's going to show.
I believe so.
The Negan side of things.
So.
I think there's an episode that's going to be mostly Negan and Gabriel. There's going to be an episode that's mostly Alexandria. There's going to be an episode that is mostly Hilltop and Kingdom focused, like the people left behind. Maybe not that one so much, but definitely Alexandria and Negan and Gabriel, because those are alive storylines that we need to see what's going on. We haven't seen the people in Alexandria since the first episode.
Well, we've left. Yeah,
we haven't seen Rosita. We haven't seen Carl.
But Rosita's injured, so.
Yeah, in Alexandria, and we're going to see what's going on with them at some point. I truly believe that.
These are all the cliffhangers we have right now going on. We have Negan and Gabriel. We have Alexandria. We have the guy that Carl came across in the very first episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
The guy that Rick scared off, and then Carl brought the food back to him.
Yeah, and says with a notice.
Oh yeah. It's the Muslim guy. Yeah.
Sorry.
The gas station guy.
Yeah.
We have the flash forward. We have the forest women. We have
the flash forward. Jesus, what was that about?
We have the trash heapsters.
Oh, the hipsters.
There's a lot of just.
There's a lot of unexplored story here.
The Oceanside woman, the Amazon oceans.
And I appreciate that this season is almost entirely about the conflict between the Alexandrians and their posse and the saviors. And I get that. And it's fun. And it's really nice to see a lot of conflict, because every season they're like, oh, this one's going to even be bigger than last season. This one, they're serious about it. Like, this is huge.
It feels like a season of Lost because there's so many freaking opening gaping holes all over the place.
There's so many things that, and when those episodes happen, when we go to the seaside or the heapsters or whatever, people are gonna be like, oh, this episode is boring. I didn't feel like it really advanced the plot at all. Like, no, we need to know what's going on there.
Yeah, you need to know what's going on, and it does advance. It prepares for what's to come. So
exactly.
Yeah. So even if it's boring.
By the way, Mrs. Malice, if you can move your braid or your hair a little bit, I love that T-shirt that you're wearing. That is fantastic. Yeah, I kind of want one.
That came from a Loot Crate. And if you guys want to see what type of stuff comes in Loot Crate and subscription boxes, these will be coming out eventually. Again, we do unboxing videos on the channel. Loot Crate is one of those that we do. So definitely come back to the channel to check out those unboxings when we do them. I've got to do some unboxings for Bam Box and A Box and Loot Crate. So, and all types of Funko boxes and stuff. So definitely come check us out for that. I want to know Mrs. Malice's opinion on the whole Ezekiel thing. So he, using the very high and mighty speech that he used in the previous episodes, giving us our Braveheart speeches. and saying not losing a soul. We're not going to lose one and keep not losing one.
He kind of jinxed himself on that because when they got to that area and they thought they were all clear, they dropped their guard for that one. They dropped their guard for that one instance, and it all went to hell.
I want to know how he saw that there was a sniper in that window, because I rewatched the thing 4 times. I didn't see a glint. I didn't see motion. I think he just.
I'd have to rewatch.
I think no, because I literally just watched it. I was like, I rewatched it 4 times. Did he just sense that there was somebody up there?
Maybe he's psychic.
Maybe
Shiva told him or something. Maybe
Shiva was up back in the corner throwing signals.
Right?
Oh.
Like,
by the way, and this is just slightly off topic, that was the worst animation of Shiva that they have done so far. When she walked into the background and did that, I was like, oh my God, that looked like it was from Aladdin.
Yeah. They did a horrible job that time with her.
But I mean, Carol's like one line in the episode basically was, "We have the strategy," which the strategy was shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
And apparently Ezekiel and the whole crew love playing Call of Duty and camping. It's a good strategy.
They are campers supreme. Their strategy is draw somebody in and then surround them and shoot the crap out of them.
Yeah, but then they
totally
don't
works.
So good in the open, because when they're in the open and they have nothing to guard them, it's not.
Well, and this is where you see Ezekiel really be the real person. You have the first speech, which I think that's why they were doing the cutbacks to it, because they were showing this inspirational speech. He's inspiring.
He's inspiring, which is what. But that also. Sorry, go. I'll let you go.
Ahead. Well, he doesn't. You don't see any type of doubt whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
No, the man knows how to work a crowd for sure.
And it shows that it makes people loyal to him because he is so, projective. So he brings that loyalty. And that's why they were so keen to rush and protect him, not because he's the king, but because he's a great leader.
Yeah.
He cares for them. He's there for them, and they want to protect them.
If you project that kind of confidence in that kind of situation, yes, people are going to follow you. That man is a natural leader.
He is. He's a really good leader, and that's, maybe Maggie and Rick should learn from him.
Also, Maggie and Rick are doing pretty good on their own as well.
They are, but
they have the first instance and they're successful. And he knew what they were going to go up against that first time. He knew it was one armada and stuff. Yeah, they have more people, but they have the strategy. Successful. He looks back, inspires again. We didn't lose one. They have the second occurrence. Do it again.
One lost.
But
one.
The difference here is after that second one, you can finally see the doubt in his face, because he looks around and he's like, not a one. Like, he's surprised.
No, he's very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately after he's very surprised, the second that he loses his confidence is when he notices the sniper's nest.
And that's the answer to your question right there. He doesn't notice the sniper's nest. He realizes that this is too good to be true.
It's too easy.
Okay. No, I get that. Yeah, I can see that.
If their strategy is to hide and jump up and shoot, the other guys have to have a strategy as well. And holy crap, we're in the open.
So you're saying for him, it felt like that victory was too easy, and then he happened to see the high tower and go, wait a minute, if it was me, I would have, everybody get down!
You just scattered, because you realize you're in an open field. Like, if you're gonna, So
it's like they got baited.
Now, how many of those people that jumped to cover him do you think died? Because I paused and rewound like 2 or 3 times.
There was some blood coming out.
I saw blood spurts, animated blood spurts from 3 to 4 of them.
Yeah. Yep. So that's my question to you guys. Is because these people dove on him because of his grandioseness to get them to follow him and stuff.
Well, at least one of them yelled, "Protect the king."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And realizing that, because he's a good man.
Yeah. How heavily is that going to weigh on his conscience?
Well, that's going to weigh on his conscience, but is the facade going to because remember, he puts part of this facade together to inspire that.
No. The facade is not going to fade. King Ezekiel will still be King Ezekiel.
Yeah.
You
He
don't
will
think
be
some of the-
Shakespeare. No, he will be Shakespearean till the end of that of the kingdom. However, he will go to Carol and be a real dude again.
Yeah, he will. You know, I mean, yeah, and he's got to be that leader. He's got a tiger. even if his people
He's
are like,
got a friggin' tiger.
a tiger. They got a freaking tiger.
That's pardon my French, and I'm sorry for YouTube metrics, but that is king shit.
Yeah.
He's got a tiger.
Yeah. Although Siegfried and Roy had tigers, and one of them mauled his face.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really trust the tiger all the time.
I want a pet tiger.
I have actually thought that while watching the show. I'm like, dude, you are cuddling with a wild beast. That thing might just turn on you if it's hungry.
Yeah, you must keep it well fed.
Exactly. So, that's pretty much it for this week's episode. Unless there's anything that you guys wanted to touch additional on, but I think that's the main questions and reactions and thoughts.
I think the main question going forward is going to be the conflict with the prisoners, because that was definitely, you know, even the fact that Maggie let freaking Gregory back into the Hilltop, which is a terrible idea.
It was
Immediately after Jesus showed up with all the prisoners. And also, by the way, Morgan wandered off.
Because once again, like you said, he's back into that. So he's going back into solo.
He's clearing.
Clear mode. He's in
clear mode. Thank you. Exactly. Mrs. Malice. That is exactly what I was thinking.
clear mode.
Yeah. So at some point, we're going to have to see what Morgan's up to. But the main conflict, I think, going forward, if we're not just focused on combat, is going to be, what do they do with these captured people, captured saviors? Because as Jesus repeatedly reminds us, no, these people surrendered.
Mm-hmm.
This, you know, and I think this was even a line in the episode. He goes, I've killed people in combat, so have you. But what we don't do is execute. We don't execute people. So they've got a group of
which Morgan said he has done. So
well, yeah. So what we have here is a group of I don't know, what was it, 20 to 30 people that are captured, surrendered prisoners, saviors. What do they do with them? What is Maggie going to do with them?
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to finding out that answer.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll find that out. And what do you think is going to happen next episode? Are you think it's going to be a continuation on this, Mrs. Malice, or are we going to finally go back to one of these other groups?
I think we're going to go back to another group, but I think it's going to be, because I did see some of the previews, something's going to go down with Carol. And
the preview that I saw, and it was just watching Talking Dead, was Daryl getting shot at on his motorcycle and crashing the bike.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a spoiler, but in my opinion, it's not going to be another group quite yet.
No, it's not. It's not going to be another group quite yet. It's going to show some of our Atlanta Fives getting the butts kicked, pretty much. The Atlanta Five. So.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming and joining us on this chat.
Absolutely.
Having to get through this stuff once in a while or something like that. And if you're in the San Diego area, definitely check out Battle Mage Brewing. It's a fantastic brewery.
If you disagree or agree with anything that we have said on this podcast, let us know.
Yes.
We've got a comment channel on this YouTube. We are willing to talk to you, and this is a small enough cast that we will actually personally respond to you.
Yes.
So let us know, like, subscribe, get on this stuff if you like what we're talking about at all.
Yeah. And if you were back here from last week of the 900 views that we got on the channel, thank you for coming back.
Yeah, buddy.
Please continue coming back. Check out some of our other endeavors, our other TV talks. They do Supernatural on Thursdays. And
I'm the host of that one.
Yep, with Super Hoovian Freak and Gia Tomcat. And we are having our season finale of our MaliceCast traditional cast on Friday. This week we're doing a nerd icon, and there is a poll
yet to be determined.
Twitter right now.
I actually have something to add a little with Supernatural, you know.
Go for it.
Sure.
Okay, so check this out. Negan plays the Winchester's dad.
Yes, he does.
Mhm.
John
So he plays
Winchester.
the good guy on Supernatural. Maggie actually plays a bad guy on Supernatural.
Ooh, I think she was in it for like one episode, but yes, she was a bad guy.
One episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
check that out. And
Yeah.
Lucille did make an appearance in one of the Supernatural episodes.
And they're both Batman too. As stated before, yes, they are both Bruce Wayne's parents and get killed in the dark.
Yep.
So.
Well, as Mess was saying, there's a poll up. We're trying to figure out who should be our nerd icon for the coming cast on Friday.
Yeah. So definitely, if you guys want to see that poll, you can follow me on Twitter at @mest_MaliceCorp. That is where the poll is at. It is for 3 choices: Bill Nye, Chris Hardwick, and Ridley Scott.
Chris Hardwick is my choice.
Yeah. So if you guys want to vote on that, and that will be our decision for who we are going to be inducting into our Nerd Icon Hall of Fame.
All very worthy personages of nerd variety.
Yeah, for the end of the year. So you can follow this podcast, all the podcasts, on Twitter at MaliceCast. You can follow our website at MaliceCorp on Twitter.
Malice-corp.com
Yes,
on the
so
web.
the website right there at the bottom of the page, malice-corp.com.
That website is the reason that we're able to even do these things.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested in joining and writing for the site, please email me at mest5150@aol.com. Let me know your interest, and we'll discuss getting you guys on as writers, because this is an endeavor for all nerds to talk about all things nerd.
Absolutely. I think we've pulled in 2 new contributors, or potentially 2 new contributors within the last week or so. People that are people that are furiously passionate about something, that want to write about it. We provide that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any plugs that you want to give where we can follow you or anything like that, Mrs. Malice?
Just on the website right now.
Okay.
I'm elusive. You can't find me.
Secretive. If you definitely want to say anything about her insights or what thoughts she had on the episode, once again, comments below. Leave a comment. We will respond to it. Or you can tweet our producer, Mr. Jack Malice, and let him know that you're looking for Mrs. Malice to.
That's at Jack_Malice, I believe.
On Twitter, yes. And then where can we follow you, Zorro?
At ICZorro on Twitter and Instagram. I am pop culture savvy and also a winemaker, and I've been putting up some pictures of myself making wine this particular season. So
nice. That's
kind of fun to watch. You can see me foot stomping some grapes. It's
so
gross.
We will see you guys back next week, Monday, 9 p.m. to talk about episode 4 of Walking Dead. Thank you so much for coming. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please hit that subscribe button that's below, or I'll have a little logo pop up here. Click on that logo, and it'll let you subscribe. If you want to see last week's cast, go ahead and click up there. That'll give you last week's cast. And if you want to see what's recommended for you, click down there. Thank you so much for coming. You guys keep nerding on, and we will see you later.
Carry on.